Alright, see what we got here. This better be good for what I paid for it. Why? It's so bad. There are hundreds and hundreds of whiskeys out there, and since taste is subjective, chances are there's some out there that you do not like.
But we recognize that it's your money and you can do whatever you want with the bottles you buy. But that being said, I don't think that we're alone when we say that seeing this really hurts our hearts.
Even the drain didn't seem to enjoy that whiskey.
No, that's not what you want to see.
Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah, and in an effort to prevent human on whiskey violence, here are 5 things you can try with a whiskey that you hate.
Now this one might be the most obvious, but if you don't like it neat or on the rocks, try it in a cocktail.
Right, so we recommend, though, a little bit of advice. Don't pick a cocktail where the bourbon is going to be the shining star, like an old-fashioned. I would say save the bourbons and ryes that you really like for that type of a cocktail. For this purpose, I would pick a cocktail that's got more ingredients and stronger flavors that it brings to the table.
Yeah.
For example, we make a cocktail called the Tight Spot.
Ooh, if you haven't seen that episode, you can click up top to see that. Little asterisk. We have since discovered a thing called tiki bitters. It is not in that episode. It is like the last missing ingredient to really elevate that cocktail. So tiki bitters, check it out. Yeah.
But for the purposes of this conversation, we've got our prop bottle here. This is going to be brand X.
Yeah, brand X. We have a few different brands that we don't like, but chances are they're different than the ones that you don't like. So no need to call it out by name. This isn't even the bottle that it came in.
Right. For example, we put brand X into our Tight Spot cocktail.
Yeah.
And found that the blueberry, the mint, the tiki bitter flavor, the acid from the lime,
ginger beer.
It all, in a way, it covers it up. The cocktail was still quality when we tried it, and you couldn't taste the things that you didn't like about the whiskey neat or on the rocks.
And it still got the job done.
And it gets the job done.
It gets the job done. Pair it with food. Now, I know we said that we weren't going to call out any brand. This is brand X, but, real life situation here. We did an uncorking of the Basil Hayden's 2x2 rye, and we weren't too fond with it, but there was this certain note that kind of stuck with you, Sarah.
Yeah, although it was on the lighter side, more mellow, lower in proof, we were getting this peachy, apricot, orangey flavor coming through that wasn't sitting with us well neat. But that did make me think of a food pairing that we could try. And so we went to the test kitchen.
Take it to the test kitchen.
And
which is just the kitchen.
It's just our kitchen.
Yeah.
And did something pretty simple. I don't know. You guys might call it kind of fancy. But it was just a cracker with some brie, light cheese, and some apricot preserves. And that with this, they complemented each other so well. That, I think, was our gateway into food pairings.
Yes, Game Changer gets thrown around a lot, Elevated gets thrown around a lot, but
they do.
The pairing of a whiskey that we weren't crazy about with food was a game changer. Like you said, our gateway into food pairing, and man, it really did elevate it. They use that a lot on those cooking shows, right?
That's right.
It was elevated. And now we try to keep a bottle of this around for just such a purpose.
Really sit down with this bottle that you're not loving and think about the flavors that are in there that maybe you do like, or what's standing out to you, and think about ways to either complement it or contrast it. Chocolate is what people go to a lot, but it just depends. Think about the proof and try to figure out some food that you can maybe try that out with.
Boom.
Cook with it. I mean, cooking with whiskey is nothing new, and the result is usually that you get a whiskey flavor, but not one that's so strong and clear that you're like, is that Knob Creek in that marinade?
I think I detect some Weller 107 in the brownies.
Yes, that's what that is. No, that's not usually what you get. You're just getting a nice whiskey flavor from it.
I know that you have favorite ones that you like to use in pies and so forth, but I get what you're saying. It's more the flavor, so why not open up that cabinet where you have all the bottles in the back, or what we like to call the island of misfit whiskeys. and start cooking.
Now, our friend Todd has confirmed for us that he uses whiskey in his chocolate chip cookie recipe in place of the vanilla. And he has tried it with whiskey that he loves, some everyday drinkers, and some that he's not fond of, and has confirmed that they come out great every time.
Success!
So get to cooking.
Get to cooking. Come on. Well, after the video. Finish the video first. Then start cooking. All right, before we get on to our last two, we just want to hit pause for a second and tell you guys about our home on the internet. It is whiskyambitions.com. It's where you can get t-shirts, glassware such as Glencairns, rocks glasses, water glasses, challenge coins, and always more coming soon. That's whiskyambitions.com.
You can become a patron at patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and get involved in our community and conversation. We do after the show exclusive episodes, we do patron-only podcasts, and so much more.
That's right, patreon.com/itsbourbonnight. All right, let's get on to the last two. This will be number 4. Blend with it. Now, here's something that is difficult even when you're working with bourbons or whiskeys that you're already fond of. Raises the level of difficulty when you want to blend in something that has flavors that you're not fond of, but we hope you're up for the challenge.
Yeah, it's a bit like playing Mad Scientist, which is fun. I think that's what's so exciting about blending. As you said, it is more of a challenge, but I think about it a little bit like I think about the food pairing. You sit down with it, you think about those flavors that maybe you don't like or what's there that you do like and you want to enhance. And you kind of try to find bottles that you have around the house. Now, nothing too high priced, because, we don't want to suggest that you sacrifice your good whiskey. But maybe some lower level things. So, for example...
Some stuff that you're familiar with. So, this is something we experimented with earlier. This is equal parts Knob Creek Small Batch, Wild Turkey 101, and...
Bourbon X.
A Brand X, Bourbon X. Is the sum better than the parts? Well, that can be argued, but we're very familiar with Knob Creek and Wild Turkey. Now, here's something that puts a little twist on it. So it kind of just depends, what you're in the mood for. I deem this a success, though. It was a good blend.
Yeah, or if you're not quite there with the blending yet, but if you have an infinity bottle going, that's another way that you can blend this in.
Yeah.
An ounce or two of this with, 20 to 25 ounces, whatever you've got in that infinity bottle already, it's going to get hidden in there with those other flavors.
Might actually do some good.
It could change things up a bit.
Things are weird that way.
You never know.
Yeah.
So get to blending.
Get to blending.
So, as we said at the beginning of this video, taste is subjective, and we recognize that. While this may not be for you, Brand X was made for a reason, and someone believed in it enough to put it out there on the shelf. So it is for someone. And I think that the last thing that you should try before you pour this down the drain is to try to find a friend who will like Brand X. So you should invite them over.
Yeah, have a whatever you want to call it, a bottle swap party, sort of like a swingers party, but maybe call it a sippers party.
A swigging party.
Swigging party.
Instead of swinging.
Yeah, it's sort of like a keys party, but instead of someone else, you go home with a bottle. So the idea is invite some people over, tell them to bring a bottle that they do not care for. Maybe tell them to bring some that they do, because you don't want to just be trying weird things all night.
No.
But the idea is for someone to fall in love with your Bourbon X, Brand X that you don't like, and vice versa. Do a little trade. Boom. No
whiskey lost. No whiskey harmed.
Yeah, no human on whiskey violence or whatever we said in the beginning of this video. And everyone's happy. I think that's the easiest thing to do out of all of these.
And, everyone might not go home with something that they love, but hopefully enough people do to where it makes everyone happy. You get a free bottle out of it.
Maybe there's one that just no one in the group likes. Well, take that bottle and as part of your party, start making some cocktails, start pairing it with some food, do any of the other steps that we talked about so far.
Right.
And
try steps 1 through 5, repeat.
Repeat, lather, rinse, and you'll find something that works.
But if not, and if you've tried all 5 of these things and you still want to pour that bottle down the drain, it's going to hurt me a little less knowing that at least you tried.
Yeah,
you participated in this relationship.
We'll sleep better knowing that you did. But I think maybe we might have changed a few lives tonight, Sarah.
I sure hope so.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it for us. If you haven't subscribed to us already and like to do so, you can click right up here. There's also suggestions of other videos right down here. We hope to see you over there in those. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
Okay, until next time, drink more bourbon.
Yeah. Why? Ah!